Hi, Sakshi at this side, and now we're with the third part of the video, and this play is Othello by William Shakespeare. Alright, so now in this video, we'll study about the manipulations of Iago and how Iago had set out his plan of ruining all the life of, in the sense, Desdemona's, Othello's, and Cassio's. Alright, in case you have not watched the earlier two videos, then you just go and watch the two videos and then come back to this video. Alright, okay, so I'll start. Iago was artful and had studied human nature deeply, and he knew that all the torments which afflict the mind of the man, the pains of jealousy, were the most intolerable, and had the sorest sting. Okay, so we'll go line by line. Iago was artful, means he was very much what? Very much skilled person, and he has studied human nature, human behavior very nicely. He know how humans are, and he knew that all the torments which afflict the mind of a man, and he knew that all that things that affects the mind of a man, for example jealousy, it really affects the mind of a man. The pains of jealousy were most intolerable. So here he just justifies his statement by saying that yes, the pain of jealousy is considered to be the most unbearable for the man, and had the sorest sting. What is the meaning of sorest sting? And the pain of jealousy causes the most pain, means severe pain in the mind of the man. Till here it's clear. Then it's, if he could succeed in making Othello jealous of Cassio, he thought that it would be an exquisite plot of revenge, and might end in the death of Cassio or Othello or both, he cared not. Then, what is the meaning of this? He's just thinking that whatever plans that he's making, okay, what is the meaning of this? He could succeed in making Othello jealous of Cassio. So what was his plan? His plan was to manipulate Othello as to make him feel jealous of Cassio, and in this way he would make a exquisite plot. Exquisite means excellent plan of revenge and all. And then what will happen at the end of the revenge might be that Cassio will be dying, or Othello will be dead, or both of them will die. But here Iago will not at all be affected if any one or if both of them would die, because he don't care. It says he cared not, means it doesn't matter. Okay, if anyone dies and all, he just don't care. It doesn't matter to him. Then, the next paragraph, the arrival of the general and his lady in Cyprus, meeting with the news of the dispersion of the enemy's fleet, made a sort of holiday in the island. So, we have studied in the earlier video that there were, Turks coming up in the island of Cyprus, and they were trying to what? They were trying to capture the island. There, Othello was called up to, rescue the island from Turks, and before even reaching to the island, he got the news that the enemies have just gone away from there. So, here it's given this only, that the arrival of the general and his lady is Desdemona, and the general is Othello in Cyprus, meeting with the news that they have got the news of the dispersion of the dispersings of the scattered enemies. Scattered in the sense that the enemies have left the island, and then at that time there was some kind of a celebration. Means on hearing such a good news that the enemies have left the island, then there a party was arranged on the island itself. And there what happened, everyone gave themselves up to feasting and making merry. Merry in the sense happiness, feasting in the sense party. They were just having food and they were extremely happy. Wind flowed in abundance. Abundance in the sense a lot. So there was quite a good breeze that day. Wind was there. And cups went round to the heath of the black Othello. Why is it called black Othello? Because Othello's complexion was very dark, and that is why he was called a more black person. And his lady the fair Desdemona. So here, what is the meaning of this? Wind flowed in abundance means there was a lot of wind that day, breeze. And cups went round to the heath of the black Othello. And cups went round in the sense the glasses, wine, alcohol, and the drinks and all. And everyone was enjoying themselves, and they were very happy. And also there the lady was present in the party, the lady Desdemona. Cassio had the direction of the guard that night, and Cassio was appointed that night just to keep the check if everything is going good or not, if everything is all right or not, with a charge from Othello. And Cassio was appointed by Othello to keep the soldier from excess in drinking. And Cassio was charged in a way to check that whether soldiers do not intake too much of alcohol. Okay, that no brawl might rise to fright the inhabitants or disgust them with the new landed forces. What is the meaning of this? That no brawl might arise. No brawl in the sense no disturbance might arise, in the sense might occur to fright the inhabitants. I mean, there should be no incident that would take place that they could have frightened the inhabitants present over there, means the local people. the soldiers maybe get intoxicated and all, then the local people over there will get frightened and scared. So soldiers should be kept away from drinking too much of alcohol, so that no disturbance arise and all, and no disturbance should be there that would fright the inhabitants, that the local people over there, or disgust them with the new landed forces. What is the meaning of this? And there should be nothing that would leave negative impression. Disgust them in the sense that would leave negative impression with the new landed forces, in the sense with the military forces. There were so many people around that Othello wanted that nothing negative should happen that would leave a bad impression among the people around in the party. So this all you understood. Then later, that night Iago began his deep laid plans of mischief. Deep laid means very nicely planned. Mischief in the sense something that is not right, something that is very much, manipulative. Under the color of loyalty means under the face of loyalty, means in the sense, this particular phrase in the sense, Iago was behaving too much loyal, but exactly he was not at all loyal. He was actually a cheater and love to the general. Means here Iago was showing a lot more loyalty and love towards the general Othello, and he enticed Cassio to make rather too free with the bottle. And here he had encouraged Cassio to drink a lot of alcohol, and even though this is a serious fault for a guard officer. What is the meaning of this? That Iago shouldn't have encouraged Cassio for drinking too much of drinks, but he had his plans in his mind, right? He had his plans of ruining the lives. So that is why he had forced Cassio to be very free with the bottles, means to not to be serious about the rules and all. He had forced, rather encouraged Cassio to drink as much alcohol as he wanted to. And Cassio for a time resisted, means for a time being he just disagreed to have alcohol, but he could not long hold out, but he could not hold himself for a longer period of time against the honest freedom. And means nobody was there to keep a check on Cassio, because Cassio was himself the guard, so nobody was there to keep the check on him. So that is why he had all the freedom which Iago knew how to put on, and Iago knew how to take the advantage of the situation. So he just kept forwarding the glasses after glasses towards Cassio, and Cassio was drinking as much as he could. Then what happened? Next line. And Cassio's tongue ran over in praise of the Lady Desdemona, and he just lost his mind and started praising Lady Desdemona, whom he again and again toasted in the sense, whom he just kept on praising and affirming that she was the most exquisite lady. And while he was praising the lady too much, then what happened? The enemy which he put into his mouth stole away his brains. What happened? That at last, who is the enemy over here? The alcohol is the enemy that he had put into his mouth, and it had stole away all his brains and common sense and manners and behavior and etiquettes. Here Cassio had forgotten all the behavior that he could have maintained in front of the Lady Desdemona. Alright, then what happened? And upon some provocations given by a fellow whom Iago had set on, swords were drawn, and Montano, a worthy officer who enforced to peace the dispute, was wounded in the scuffle. And due to some provocations मतलब जब आप किसको भड़का देते हो ना, वो चीज़ है. And due to some provocation possibly instigated by Iago, अब क्या हुआ वहाँ पे? Iago had done some kind of mischief. उसने किसी के बारे में बोला, और that person got angry, very much angry. और अचानक से क्या हुआ? A fight broke out over there. वहाँ पे झगड़ा होने लग गया. And the swords are drawn. और उन्होंने अपने हाथ पे क्या ले लिया? Weapons ले लिया, swords. Montano, there's this another officer, the name is Montano, intervenes to try and stop the fight, but ends up getting wounded. And here the officer named Montano, he was the person who was trying to stop the fight and all, but he ended up getting wounded himself. He could not stop, rather he got injured in the fight. The riot now began to be general, and Iago, who had set on foot the mischief, was foremost in spreading the alarm. And this riot now began to be general in the sense that it began to rise. And Iago, who had done all the mischief and all, had spread the alarm. Means he was spreading the alarm in the sense he was just increasing the panic and disturbance over there. Okay, instead of settling down the matter, he was just increasing the intensity of the fight, causing the castle bell to be rung. And at the end, castle's bell started ringing, and here all the people there got to know that something has happened. Okay, The alarm bell ringing awakened Othello, and Othello suddenly heard the ringing bell, and he thought that okay, something has happened. He just came in hurry to the scene, to the place where all this fight and all took place, and questioned Cassio of the cause. And we all know that Cassio was in charge over there that night, so he just came and he asked Cassio that what has happened, what is it? Okay, but we all know that Cassio was extremely intoxicated, right? Cassio was now come to himself. Come to himself means he was trying to be, but to become a bit sober. He was trying to hold on to his senses. The effect of the wine having a little gone off, and the effect of the wine was a little bit less now, but was too much ashamed to reply. But Cassio was extremely, embarrassed and insulted and ashamed of replying to the general Othello. And Iago pretending a great reluctance to accuse Cassio. And Iago was, kind of trying to manipulating Cassio. Just write down the meaning of great reluctance. Write down in a copy. Unwillingness. Okay, so here Iago was, kind of pretending, was being pretentious of not blaming Cassio. But at the same time, he was also forcing Othello to know the truth. Okay, means he was just trying that the matter should not get ended up. Okay, rather the truth जो सच है वो बाहर आना ही चाहिए. Gave an account of the whole matter, and he himself, Iago himself, gave the details of the whole matter, and in such a manner as well he seemed to make Cassio's offense less. And ऐसे भी वो कह रहा था कि हो जाता है मास्टर, इतनी कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, कैशो से गलती हो गई, वो जानबूझ के ज़्यादा नहीं पी रहा था, उससे गलती से हो गया. ओके, मतलब इसका ये मतलब है कि पूरा सच भी बता दो, बट इस तरीके से बताओ कि सामने वाले को गुस्सा आ ही जाए. ठीक है, एंड इंडीड मेक इट अपीयर ग्रेटर दैन इट वॉज. जितना बड़ा बात नहीं था उससे ज़्यादा एग्जैजरेट करके इयागो ने ओथेलो को बताया. जैसे सर वो बहुत ज़्यादा पीने लग गया था, पार्टी में तो सर ऐसा हो ही जाता है, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, कैशो से गलती हो गई है बड़ी, बट कोई बात नहीं, इट्स ओके. ऐसे करके बोल रहा था तो ऐसा सामने वाले को ये लगेगा ना कि छोटा गलती नहीं है तो बहुत बड़ा गलती. ठीक है. This result that Othello was a strict observer of discipline. So Othello was a man who was a very strict observer. He was a man who used to, have discipline in a very strict manner. Okay, and he was forced to take away Cassio's place of lieutenant from him. And at the end, he had no choice but to take away Cassio's position of lieutenant away from him. Due to the situation and all, due to the fight and due to the excess of drinking, he had no other choice but to remove Cassio from the post of lieutenant. That's all for this video. Okay, just go through each and every line and each and every word properly, and I'll get back to you in the fourth part of the video. See ya. Bye.